Hey Dethroners, welcome back to the Dethroning Your Inner Critic YouTube channel. I'm Joanna Kleinman, psychotherapist, transformational coach, and CEO of the Dethroning Your Inner Critic coaching company. And today I want to talk about a very different way to think about confidence. And for those of you who want to learn a whole new way of thinking about confidence, I am going to be leading a 5-day masterclass called Building Confidence from Within that begins on March 11th, 2024. It's an hour every day for 5 days live. If you can't make it live, you can get the recording. And it's only $36 for the whole masterclass. So for more information, go to dethroningyourinnercritic.com/building confidence from within. That's dethroningyourinnercritic.com, building confidence from within. Or you can check the link to my bio on social media. Okay, so let's dive in today. So first of all, I'm going to say something that some people might not agree with, but I believe that confidence issues impact all of us, not just some of us. I think that people who say they don't have a confidence issue don't recognize that it's actually part of the human experience. And so specific manifestations of lack of confidence might vary from person to person, but self-doubt and insecurity are actually universal in the human experience. So somebody might have full confidence in their job or with public speaking or performing, but they're always going to have some area in their life where self-doubt and fear are going to limit them. That's all of us. Okay. So if it's not professionally, then it's in a relationship or an internal feeling about some part of ourselves. And that's because confidence does not come from external achievements or from validation. It arises from a deep sense of connection within oneself and a deep connection to the present moment. So true confidence is really rooted in being fully present and accepting whatever arises in the present moment, whether that's success or failure or uncertainty. So confidence issues are a universal phenomenon because of our automatic mind. That's the mind I call our inner critic mind. Some people call it our ego mind. But whatever you call it, it creates false identities and therefore attachments that lead us to our suffering. So unless we are able to recognize those false identities, our inner critic is going to continue to tightly grip onto these attachments and demands that we believe are the keys to our confidence and fulfillment and joy and ease and peace and overall life satisfaction. So, and isn't that what we're all longing for? Is just feeling fulfilled and satisfied and at peace in our life. So when we're tightly gripping to needing certain conditions in our life to make us feel that way, well, we're going to suffer. So true confidence arises when we unhook ourselves from that old identification with that inner critic identity, and we connect to our deeper essence. That's our true authentic self. So when we know how to unhook ourselves from that inner critic identity and connect with our authentic self, there's a natural sense of confidence that arises from that deep inner knowing and acceptance of yourself. So if we think about natural confidence that arises when we let go of those old inner critic habits of striving and worrying and gripping onto being liked or loved or valued or reaching some goal in our life, okay? What we can actually start to think about is what happens in nature. See, everything in nature moves at its own speed, right? The seed already contains within it the beautiful plant, okay? Now, might take 10 years for the plant to reach full maturity. Might take more, right? So for a seed to bloom, it actually has to completely self-destruct. The shell has to crack. The inside needs to go through many different forms, right? Needs to push through the ground. Now, to somebody who doesn't understand what growth is, this would look like the seed has self-destructed and died. But in fact, it's the opposite. The beauty of the flower emerges from the destruction of the old form. So this is the same for the seed of your authentic self. When you act from that centered seat of your authentic self, you understand on a deeper level what it means to surrender to the flow of life and to trust in the unfolding of any events in your life, rather than trying to control or manipulate the outcomes. And that's what our spiritual nature is all about. It's living a life of consciously connecting with your inner self. That's consciousness. So having connection to the same energy that turns the acorn into the oak tree, because our lives are governed by that same energy. So if we're looking at a life of true prosperity and success, that doesn't have anything to do with what level you get to or how much money you make or how many things you own. True prosperity and success comes from aligning with this spiritual nature, because your prosperity and success comes from natural confidence. And natural confidence comes from aligning with your spiritual nature. It comes from connecting with a deeper sense of purpose and meaning in your life. So really, you could say that your confidence is just a reflection of your inner state of being when you're in alignment with your true authentic self and your true purpose. Now, I'm going to talk about what I'm really talking about when I say true purpose, because I think it's different than what most people think about when they hear the term true purpose. Okay. But I first want to say that our automatic inner critic mind is only ever interested in controlling and manipulating outcomes so that we can feel good all of the time, right? And avoid that uncomfortable feeling of not being confident. Okay. So there are a lot of people who are on a quest for personal growth. And what they're really trying to do is find a way to feel good all of the time and avoid painful emotions. That is never possible. And, our happiness comes and our happiness goes, and our sadness comes and our sadness goes. But true fulfillment means that you are able to be at ease deep inside your own being. Okay, so lack of confidence can only occur when we aren't practicing aligning with that spiritual nature. So when we're experiencing struggle and doubt, that's when our inner critic is going to leap into action and try to find the right choices and make the right decisions that are going to lead us to the end of feeling not confident. But this, in the end, creates more of your inner critic's automatic swirl of thoughts and fears, which just leads to more lack of confidence. You see how this goes? It's a vicious cycle. Because trying to be more confident reinforces the emotional and physical state that you're actually trying to escape. So basically, you're stuck in this never-ending flight, fight, freeze survival mechanism response, okay? And now your brain is manufacturing all these hormones that are rooted in that survival mechanism response, okay? Like all the chemical makeup of survival and fear, okay? And all of that is way down in your unconscious mind. And you don't even know what you're reacting to most of the time, right? You believe that you're reacting to the circumstance in front of you. And you believe that once that circumstance changes, or you fix the situation, or you get more knowledge, or you get whatever you believe needs to be different in some way, that's when you're going to feel the peace and confidence that you're longing for. So one of two things happen when you're stuck in that vicious cycle. Either you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off, trying to get more knowledge, or get another degree, or get that certification, or get that promotion, or get that book written, right? And there's a lot of hustle and grind and pushing and striving, right? So that you can finally feel more confident. Or the second way that people react to that is they avoid it altogether and don't take action towards what you really want your life to be. Okay. But either way, you're creating a whole lot of suffering because you don't know how to take action while trusting that natural flow of life. Okay. And this is why I believe that there is a collective confidence issue in our culture. And for many years, I was stuck in that vicious cycle too. Right. So I have 3 inner critics that rule my life: a restless inner critic, a perfectionist inner critic, and an inadequate inner critic. So even though for years I was taking action towards my dreams, I was full of stress and worry and lack of confidence. And right here I was building my biggest vision, and I was missing out on loving my beautiful life right now. I didn't even realize that I was waiting for the circumstances to change so that I could finally feel the confidence and the success and the fulfillment and peace that I wanted. Okay. Now, this is how most of the world operates. This is why so many people are so restless and stressed and stuck and unfulfilled, right? And this is also why so many people give up on their dreams, because they're trying to escape from that fear by staying busy and staying in unfulfilling jobs or unfulfilling relationships and not working on what it takes to tap into their authentic self and to create extraordinary relationships in their life, right? And they're waiting for something to get better in the future, okay? So when we're busy all the time, we've got all this adrenaline that's coursing through our bodies, and eventually we're going to get burnt out. And this is exactly why so many people who have reached the top, right? They've made the money, they've made the success, they've accomplished their dreams, but they are so deeply miserable. They are burnt out on life, and they've created a lot of dead bodies along the way, right? Their relationships fell apart, and they're estranged from their children, and all sorts of chaos erupts, okay? Now, if you haven't taken my inner critic assessment, that is a beautiful tool for people to clearly see all of the patterns of their automatic mind that they've been mistaking for their true selves, that's responsible for creating this whole vicious cycle. So when you're experiencing a lack of confidence, one or more of your inner critics is at play. And then you'll keep finding more things in your life that are going to continue to trigger those feelings. So the more that you keep doing something, taking actions from a place of fear and striving and that future arrival point, right? You'll see a pattern where no matter what you achieve and no matter what your life looks like, you're going to continue to experience more of the same fear and doubt. Okay? That's really important. So, alleviating your lack of confidence is never going to come from changing your circumstances. You have to understand how to change your inner environment. Now, that's a life of consciousness. And a life of consciousness is an ongoing journey of anchoring yourself into different thoughts, different emotions, which changes what you actually see and hear in your life. It changes the lens through which you see everything, okay? And that is exactly how you anchor yourself into a different world, okay? That's why I developed the mind method for dethroning your inner critic, because using the mind method gradually over time, you learn to see through your automatic mental patterns and that whole mental dynamic that's been created by your inner critic and is giving you the life that you have been living. So you learn to strike a balance between giving energy towards your dreams while trusting in the intelligence of life itself and being open to whatever is going to unfold, because you have an inner knowing that everything in our life is happening for our highest good. Now, when you can sit in that and know that you don't have to have fear and worry because everything is happening for our highest good, that is the ultimate definition of true confidence. Okay? Finding that inner peace and presence. That's the foundation of true confidence. Okay? So remember, your confidence level is just a reflection of your connection to your authentic self and alignment to your true purpose in life. And I told you I was going to get to your true purpose in life. Okay? So here is your true purpose in life. It is getting in touch with your authentic self. It is accepting yourself fully. It is living a life of consciousness. So many people struggle with that age-old question, what is the purpose of my life? Okay? It's a struggle that all of us have gone through. What do I want to do with my life? What am I really passionate about? Okay. I connect with a lot of people that are in their 40s and 50s who still have no clue what their true purpose is and what they want to do with themselves. Okay. So when people say, what should I do with my life? What is my life's purpose? What they're actually saying is, what can I do with my time that feels important? Okay. Now, your true purpose is not something that you are going to figure out yourself. Your life's purpose is actually going to evolve from being aligned with the natural laws of the universe. So just like there's order in nature, there's order in the universe. Now, this has been known for thousands upon thousands of years. There's a vibrational energy in everything and everyone around us. And every single thought we have and every single choice we make is made up of energy and creates our next energetic experience, the next person that comes into our life, or the next thing that's going to manifest into our lives. Okay? So our true purpose comes from being aligned with the energy of nature. So there's a quote that I came across from a Chinese philosopher. I think the way you pronounce his name is Lao Tzu. Okay, but he says, nature does not hurry And yet everything is accomplished. Nature does not hurry, and yet everything is accomplished. So your inner critic mind is always going to want to rush. It's always going to want to be in a hurry. It's always going to want to get to the result because your inner critic mind does not trust the unknown. So connecting with the energy and really the nature, the energy of nature and the energy of the universe is what allows the light of consciousness into your world. So the only real purpose we have is to bring consciousness into the world. How do we do that? By being conscious ourselves. So when you practice consciousness, you come to deeply understand who and what triggers your fears, your doubts, your lack of confidence. You learn to understand and accept your human conditioning at a deep level. You stop judging your inner automatic machinery. You stop trying to silence it or make it disappear. And instead, your pain and struggle actually becomes the very thing that will lead you to your true, authentic self. Now think about that for a moment. If you actually let your lack of confidence, your struggle, your pain lead you to your authentic self, that is how you naturally radiate confidence out into the world. Because you know how to unhook yourself from those old beliefs, old thoughts, old perceptions that you've been holding on to about yourself and the world around you. And as they show up, you keep getting better and better and better at recognizing them. And we can literally shift who we consider ourselves to be, shift the experience of the life we're living, shift our experience of what is really possible for us in our future. And that is exactly what creates true success. It's all in your inner world. So when I think about my own purpose, my purpose continues to evolve. Okay? I just keep continuing to ask myself, how can I be of the greatest service to humanity, really? And that started off in one form, right? Where I was in a private practice as a psychotherapist, and then it has evolved over time. So my purpose has taken more forms than I can even count. And every time I felt my purpose shift, my inner critic was triggered into that same old fear and doubt because I was once again stepping into the unknown. Now, I had to build the muscle over time to be comfortable with that uncomfortable feeling of being square in the unknown. And I wouldn't say I'm comfortable being there. It's just that I know that that's a requirement of a conscious life. So instead of trying to figure out your purpose or fixating on what you think is going to make you feel more confident, more at peace, you have the opportunity to see how you are being of service to yourself and to the people in your life. What is it that you really want to contribute to others? Now, of course, you're not going to fix the world's problems by yourself, but you can contribute and make a difference by tuning into your authentic self and radiating that natural confidence. Okay? And that feeling that makes a difference in other people's lives because they see you operating in a different way. They see an internal shift in you. And that ultimately is what is so important for our happiness and fulfillment, that we are making a difference out there in the world. That's what gives us confidence. Okay. So we have to live the answer, and we have to trust the unfolding of the whole journey, because we can't see what lies ahead in the journey. We have an intention, and sometimes it's not going to make sense to us how this journey is unfolding. But if you allow your life to unfold naturally without getting sucked into those urgent demands of your inner critic, you're living a very different life. That's a life of confidence. Okay. Now you have to have the right intention. You have to learn how to resist the urge to interfere with that natural process. And let me tell you, that's been the hardest lesson I've had to learn in my life, right? I think I'm still learning it. You have to trust the timing of the unfolding of your life. Okay. So I am not going to sit here and tell you that I am at peace all the time and I'm just in, trusting the timing all the time. I'm not. I get sucked back into my inner critic's fears and doubts, but I now know what it is. I know that's not real. Okay. So if you have a belief or a feeling right now that you're stuck, okay, you can only be stuck if you aren't in touch with what is at your innermost core. And you might be in a period of pause in your life, okay? And that's when our inner critic starts to panic. Oh my God, I gotta figure this out. I gotta force something to happen. I gotta make money. Instead of trying to figure it out, I invite you to just take a step back, just take a deep breath, and notice that you are part of a much bigger flow that you can't see. And that flow has been at work this whole time, up until where you are right now. And there are times where the natural thing to do is to be in a pause. Okay? You have to trust this. So confidence doesn't mean getting to a place where there is no inner noise and there is no inner fear. What confidence really means is that you can be in the midst of the inner noise. You can hear the fear and doubt, and yet still be at peace within your own heart. Now, this is a fundamentally different way to look at confidence. So think of your inner confidence like the stillness of a lake in nature. Okay? A lake might have ripples on its surface that are caused by winds or other disturbances. But a lake remains calm and tranquil at its depths. So you can see your inner critic's inner noise. You can feel life's external pressures. That's the ripples on the surface of the lake. And yet you can connect to that deep stillness and peace and flow that is in this present moment, right? You get out of stillness and peace and flow when you're out there trying to control the future. The stillness, peace, and flow is in this very moment. It lies deep within your heart. So if you want to explore more of these ideas in depth, come to my 5-day masterclass on confidence that begins March 11th, 2024, where you can get in touch with what it means to tune into your own natural confidence from within. To register, go to dethroningyourinnercritic.com/building confidence from within. Check out the link in my bio. And thanks for tuning in today, everybody. Have a great day.